Hey there YouTube, WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet Battle Stadium VGC ranked doubles videos here on the channel. This is going to be the last episode with this team. We've been using this team for the past 2 episodes. If you haven't seen them, I recommend that you go check them out. Yeah, this is a team that's been interesting, I think. It has been very strong in a couple of cases, and it's been very weak in a couple of cases. And I think it's an exercise in thinking about team building if we actually take a look at this team and analyze it a bit. So the main feature of the team is the Indeedee Armarouge combination, which is fairly common in the current meta. Because it's very, very powerful, as was demonstrated in one of the battles in the last episode. It just basically completely swept the opponent. And it very much can do that, right? So we have Indeedee, who sets up Psychic Terrain with Psychic Surge, gets a nice special defense boost with Psychic Seed, is pretty bulked out otherwise, and has Psychic for damage, but typically is going to be either using Follow Me or Helping Hand, and also has Protect. So Follow Me is good for just keeping Armarouge alive, or whoever is out with it. Just to redirect damage, and then Helping Hand, of course, is to boost damage output from its partner. So typically it's going to be partnered here with the Armarouge, which is Terra Psychic and uses Expanding Force. Now, Expanding Force is a single target Psychic type move, but in Psychic Terrain it becomes a double target Psychic type move. And of course, with Terra Psychic, Life Orb, Psychic Terrain boost, and then also potentially Helping Hand boost, it just becomes a ridiculously powerful spread attack. Now, we also have Armor Cannon for fire damage, which is also a really powerful attack. And then the ability to go to Trick Room, which is a very handy ability if used properly. Now, this is not a full Trick Room team, but it does have Torkoal, who can take advantage of Trick Room choice specs with Eruption, Heat Wave, Earth Power, and Solar Beam. Obviously, if Trick Room's up and Torkoal comes in, it's going to be the slowest Pokemon, which means it's going to be the fastest Pokemon, which means it can get a Heat Wave or an Eruption off. Ideally, an Eruption, but if it's taking damage, then obviously you want to go with Heat Wave. Or if you expect to take damage, you probably want to go with Heat Wave. And a choice specs boosted Eruption with full HP is pretty devastating. It's base 150 attack. So we also have Amoonguss, who likes Trick Room but doesn't need it. Has Rage Powder and Spore, and its attacking move is Clear Smog, which I've not gotten a ton of utility out of. I think setup has been fairly hard countered in this meta to the point where people kind of stop bringing it, other than Dondozo, and we have other ways of dealing with Dondozo, and Clear Smog might be kind of holding this Amoonguss back. As a matter of fact, I kind of think Amoonguss might be holding this team back, to be fair, but we'll get to that in a minute. So in addition to those Pokemon, we also have Fairy Food, who just does not love those fairy attacks, but it is Terra Steel. We have a Hydreigon here who's Terra Steel with Focus Sash, which is a very interesting item choice. It was basically because I didn't have any other item to give it, but it has come in very handy, and it's also something that I don't trust enough, and I need to trust the Focus Sash. I have taken that Focus Sash for granted, where I have played too defensively with this Hydreigon, to my detriment, and it's like, well, you can take a hit, you can take a Dragon Claw, you can take a Play Rough, you can take a Hyper Voice, you can take a, Draco Meteor, because you have that Focus Sash, and I think I need to let Hydreigon take that attack every once in a while, and I don't do that enough. But this is a fairly standard Hydreigon build. Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Tailwind, Protect, Timid with 252 Special Attack, 252 Speed. Terra Steel for defensive typing. Probably would be better Terra Fire, but Terra Steel, I don't know. I like it. It was what I had. I had a Terra Steel Dino, so it's like, oh, I don't have to use shards. So that's what I went with there. And then we have Mojito here, my Meowscarada, who's Choice Band, Flower Trick, U-Turn, Knock Off, Sucker Punch. This would be better, I think, with a Focus Sash, but I need that Focus Sash for Hydreigon. So that's the team. Now, I think a lesson to be taken from this team building, and especially from the playing that I've done with this team already, is that when building the team, I am very much building around a gimmick here, right? Which is basically Indeedee Armarouge. But the rest of the team composition doesn't necessarily complement that enough. I think Hydreigon is an excellent choice for this team. It really, really helps. Mojito, I think, is a very good addition for this team. I think Torkoal and I think Amoonguss are not pulling their weight. I don't bring them very much, and when I do bring them, I usually bring them because there's no one else to bring. And that's not usually what you want to do with a team, right? So one of the things that I think is a big weakness this team has is dark types. Because Indeedee Armarouge is hard countered by dark types, right? They not only hit both Pokemon for super effective damage, but they are immune to the Expanding Force. This team needs Sylveon, for sure. I think maybe instead of Torkoal. Sylveon would be good. Sylveon likes Trick Room, doesn't need Trick Room, appreciates Tailwind, and can hit the big threats that threaten Indeedee and Armarouge. And that's something that is very important when you're doing team building, is you have this main core. You need to think about what the threats are and what you can bring to counter it. And I did not do that. And we have seen that kind of hurt this team in some of our matches. So, that's interesting. Thinking about team building and thinking about how you want to actually put a team together and kind of cover for those things, that's something you really want to consider, is what are the threats to your main core and how do you protect them, and then what are the threats to that protection and how do you protect them, and that should round out the team pretty nicely. So I think we've seen instances where this team just doesn't put on enough offensive pressure, and I think having Torkoal, Amoonguss, and Indeedee is really kind of the cause of that. So we'll see. We're going to jump into a couple more battles with this team, and then we're going to move on to a different team in the next episode. So we'll see if we can reverse our struggle here. We're 2-3, right? So we're not doing that bad. We've played 5 matches. We've won 2 of them. So if we can take at least 1 more win, if we only do 2, or if we can take 2 wins, if we end up doing 3, I would really like to come out either even or ahead, but we'll see how it goes. So let's jump in to the battles. So, one more time, this is the team. The rental code is up there in the top right corner, NTBCM4. If you want to download the team and take a look at it and use it. I don't know if I recommend that. I think it's got some major flaws. But yeah, that's the rental code. We're going to go ahead and take this team one last time and do a couple more battles on the ranked ladder. We are still really struggling to get out of rank 4. We've been there pretty much since the 2nd episode. But let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it this time. I think we might be able to. Maybe. I don't know. I've got faith in myself sometimes. I've got faith in myself more when I have a team that I know has been doing well. I honestly think the first team is better, and this is an interesting team. So we've got Garchomp, Murkrow, Hydreigon, which is a nice core there. We've got Gholdengo, and we've got the Indeedee Armarouge. So this is exactly what I'm saying when I said we need Sylveon on this team. Without Sylveon on this team, we don't have a good matchup at all, and that's because we are very heavily threatened by dark types. So I think Mojito is an absolute must. I think Hydreigon is an absolute must. I think we probably want... See, now we're at the point where it's like, okay, well, we need Armarouge because we don't have much damage output otherwise. But Armarouge can't really touch most of these Pokemon. Armarouge is good into the Gholdengo. That's kind of about it. We can potentially bring you, but you don't really do much either. So I think I'm almost more... tempted to bring Indeedee just for the possibility of having no priority and redirection. So we'll see. This type of team is tough to go up against, mostly because we don't have a good answer to dark types. That said, Hydreigon is really good with Draco Meteor. So we've got Gholdengo and we've got Murkrow. So we've got some instant pressure here from Gholdengo. I think we are choice banded. The question is, do we think Gholdengo is going to go for an attack right away? I kind of don't think it is. I think it might go for a nasty plot. It depends. I'm going to try knock off on the Gholdengo, which I think will be very helpful. And Gholdengo can't really hurt Hydreigon that much, so I think it's safe to set up a Tailwind. So they're going to set up a Tailwind. I need to respond with my own Tailwind as well. Right? So it is going to go for Make It Rain. I could have gone for the Sucker Punch. Kind of feel like I should have. But we'll see. That is just going to get the one shot on the Goldengo. I don't think Sucker Punch would have. That's kind of why I didn't go for it, right? I figured having that ability to knock off would get a good amount of damage because we are choice banned. So we'll see what comes in. Both my Pokemon here are a little worse for wear, and it is the Armarouge, so I gotta be very careful, right? I don't want to necessarily bring in... We are locked into knockoff. I think I outspeed. I should outspeed, right? So unless this Murkrow has Quash, I think I'm in a pretty good place. And I want to go for a Draco Meteor on the Murkrow. It's going to Terra. Is it going to Terra Psychic or Terra Grass or Terra Fire? Kind of thinking Grass. It is Grass. Okay, so the knockoff is not going to be super effective anymore. But it should knock off, I'm assuming, probably Life Orb. It does a ton. Safety Goggles. Okay, interesting. Get the Draco Meteor into the Murkrow. That doesn't quite get the KO. We're going to probably lose Meowscarada here. Yeah. That's okay. We might also lose Hydreigon. But I'm kind of okay with that. It is going to Trick Room. Alright. So we don't lose Hydreigon. I'm even better with that. So with Trick Room up, we both have Tailwind, so that's going to cancel out. I kind of feel like I have to go into my own Armarouge here. Because Indeedee doesn't help me. As long as that Murkrow's around, Indeedee doesn't help me. So we've got Armarouge. Hydreigon's going to be slow. I don't know which of our Armarouges is going to be faster under Trick Room. Protect feels kind of iffy, but I kind of feel like I have to do it. No, I don't. I don't have to do it. I can Expanding Force into the Armarouge, and I can protect Hydreigon. Because I want Hydreigon to stick around a little bit longer. We Expanding Force into you. You don't resist it. That should be a dead Armarouge. And then I guess Murkrow's probably just going to Foul Play into my Armarouge, which should do some damage, but I don't think it's going to do a ton. Because we're not physically... Yeah, we're not physical. So, yeah, that's fine. So far, you know what? I think we're handling this pretty well. So who's going to come in? Is it going to be Garchomp? Yeah, I kind of figured. It's part of why I wanted to save Hydreigon. Now, I think... Unless this is slow Garchomp, we're going to outspeed. So I'm going to Terra Psychic and Expanding Force. And then I think I just Draco Meteor into the Garchomp. Unless it's slow... It could be slow Garchomp because they're running Trick Room, right? So it's possible that they might have built a Garchomp. This could be a rental team too, I don't know. But it could be a slower Garchomp to take advantage of the Trick Room, but I still think Armarouge is going to outspeed. So Life Orb, double Terra, well, double Stab, Terra and Stab Psychic, Expanding Force onto that Garchomp. Should be good. Yeah. And then the Draco Meteor should finish it off. Murkrow's going to go into the Armarouge. I'm okay with that. We still live. Draco Meteor finishes the Garchomp off, and now all they have left is Murkrow. And Murkrow's fine. I mean, I like Murkrow. But I don't think it can solo the rest of this battle. I think letting Murkrow just be around, right, has been very helpful. So we're not locked into Expanding Force. We can just click Armor Cannon, and we can Dark Pulse. And I think that's going to be it. That should lock it up. There we go. That's clean. That's pretty clean, but you'll notice I only used 3 Pokemon. Right? So there's kind of a reason for that. It's because my team kind of basically only has 3 Pokemon on it. But I'm glad we got the win, right? You know, we've been losing a lot. So getting that win, we have not had a single episode where we didn't get at least one win. So I'm happy about that. We are definitely going to go in for another battle. We We certainly have time for another. Obviously, we always do 2 at least. Sometimes we do 3. But let's go ahead and definitely do another one. So that's good. Let's continue, and hopefully we can kind of ride that momentum. Because I think I played that one pretty well, right? I think I maneuvered that battle pretty well. Letting that Make It Rain go off at the beginning and taking all that damage definitely felt like, oh shit, right? But I think we handled the opposition well in a team that we did not have a good matchup against. But let's see if we lose all that progress right here. Oh god. Tatsugiri Dondozo. I hate it. I hate it so much. We have Volcarona. I think, did I not play this team before and lose to it? I think I may have. I think I may have. I don't know if it was this team or my first team. We have to have Mojito here to counter the Dondozo. We absolutely have to. The question is, Clear Smog Amoonguss is also pretty helpful. The thing, though, is this team does not like Indeedee Armarouge. The Meowscarada is the only thing they have that can safely switch in to Expanding Force. So I'm almost tempted to lead Hydreigon, Armarouge with Indeedee in the back, and Mojito. And I think this might be a good opportunity to set up a Tailwind and get the Expanding Force play going. If we can really just take advantage of that, that would be absolutely swell. I'm not super optimistic about it because it's such a one thing I definitely do is I have my gimmick. It's the same thing with Lilligant Torkoal in the first team. I have that gimmick, but I hedge from it all the time because I think people are going to predict it, right? So it's definitely something that I need to get better at. All right. So what we need, we have to trust the Focus Sash. We set up a Tailwind, and I think we just protect with Armarouge. Tailwind protect. I don't know what they're gonna do. They might go for an Icy Wind. They might go for a Draco Meteor. They could do all that. Whatever. I don't care. We protect Armarouge, and we trust that no matter what happens, Hydreigon is getting an attack off. It lives because of the Focus Sash. Trust the Focus Sash. We get a Tailwind up. And honestly, if Hydreigon goes down here, that's a win for me, because then I don't have to hard switch. Heat Wave, beautiful. Hit the Hydreigon, please. Please hit Hydreigon. I love Hydreigon. Hydreigon's great. It's a great... okay. It's a great member of the team, but now I almost feel like I'm at a disadvantage. I'm going to go ahead and Draco Meteor the Tatsugiri. I think we might see I really wish Hydreigon went down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to hard switch into Indeedee. And then we're going to go for the Expanding Force. I think it would benefit me to Terrastalize. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think I want to hard commit to that yet. So we swap out Hydreigon. We get Indeedee in here. We get the Psychic Terrain up. Meowscarada could be a pain in the ass in the back. But we set up the Psychic Terrain. We get the Psychic Seed. And the Expanding Force. If we don't get a double knockout here, I should have Terrastalized. They're going to switch out Tatsugiri. Makes sense. Is Meowscarada coming in? I don't know what that is. It's probably the cat. It's the Dragonite. I should have Terrastalized. Absolutely should have Terrastalized. So that looks like multi-scale. That looks like multi-scale to me. Alright, so we're going to see a Heat Wave come in. We have Flash Fire, so I'm okay with that. We are going to get the Indeedee hit. So, now, if Dragonite does not Terrastalize, then it can Extreme Speed. So I think we definitely want to do a Follow Me, and then I am going to go ahead and Terrastalize and try the Expanding Force again. I think the play is pretty obvious. If Dragonite Terrastalizes normal, then it will not be able to use Extreme Speed because of the Psychic Terrain. If it does not Terrastalize, then it stays flying and is not affected by the terrain and therefore can Extreme Speed. I'm a little worried about that. I'm not going to lie. That's why I have the follow me going. It's going to protect. That's okay. We are going to get the follow me off. We're going to see what you're going to try to do. I don't know what it's doing. It's slower than me because of the tailwind. I don't know what you're doing, but you do just go down. It's a crit. I don't know if the crit mattered. I'm not sure if the crit mattered. So we're going to see if the Meowscarada's in here, because that's really the only thing that can kind of stand against this. Now, to be fair, the Goldengo does resist, but we have Follow Me for that. And we also have Armor Cannon. So it could be Goldengo coming in. Seems likely, yeah. That doesn't surprise me. So the Make It Rain here is pretty obvious. I kind of want to go Helping Hand and go for Expanding Force. Follow Me isn't going to help because we're going to get a Heat Wave and a Make It Rain. Almost certainly. The question is, does Goldengo go for a Terastallization here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it wants to do that. But this is what I'm saying. This strategy is hard to fight back against. It's really hard to fight back against. You can resist it, but it's still going to do massive damage. The Volcarona's gone, for sure. And the Goldengo's going to take a shitload. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, Make It Rain is going to do hefty damage, but we do resist it, right? You know, we are Fire type. Right, so we're going to resist with Armarouge, and we hang on. We do hang on. That's huge. So they don't have the Meowscarada. So we don't have to worry about anybody being immune to Expanding Force. And we still have all of our Pokemon in the back. They actually didn't even bring the Dondozo, which is interesting. So Make It Rain is going to come in. I don't know if we outspeed that without the... I don't know if we outspeed that without the Tailwind. I don't think we do. It's possible we do, but I want to just go for Expanding Force, honestly. If we can get it off one last time, it should take out... It's going to take out the Goldengo and possibly the Tatsugiri. Indeedee avoided the attack. It does hit the Armarouge. That's unfortunate. Alright. But it's okay, because our Hydreigon should be faster than the Goldengo. It's not going to be faster than the Tatsugiri, because that Tatsugiri is almost certainly Choice Scarfed. But we can hit it with a Flower Trick. So the question is, we have Hydreigon, who is living on 1, and we have Meowscarada, who has to take on the world. So we cannot Sucker Punch, because neither of these Pokemon are flying. And I don't think that Goldengo has an air balloon. If it did, it would be popped. So the Psychic Terrain is actually going to hurt me here. I have to protect Hydreigon, and I have to go Flower Trick on the Tatsugiri. Because the win con here is that Hydreigon does not go down. We can't lose Hydreigon here. Meowscarada is absolutely going to outspeed Goldengo. Right, this is probably going to be a Terra. Oh, interesting. Terra Water. That's a bad idea. That's a real bad idea. Why would you do that? You're probably locked into Muddy Water now, right? I mean, I guess it's just for the extra stab. It has to be, right? That's got to be it. It doesn't miss. That's unfortunate. We have to see if we don't live it, then that's a problem. Oh, we live it so good. All right, so this is going to be super effective. It's no longer neutral. That's a dead Tatsugiri. Easy. Okay. So that's good. Our accuracy didn't drop. If we live this Make It Rain, then we're really schmoovin'. We don't necessarily need to live the Make It Rain, because Hydreigon should be faster, and now that's game. That's easy game. Because Hydreigon should be faster than the Goldengo. And now the Psychic Terrain's gone. Doesn't matter. But we'll go ahead and click He disconnected? Oh, come on, man. At least just forfeit. That's a shame. I don't know if I get credit for that win now. That sucks. I guess it counted as the win. How long have we been going? 18 minutes? I think we could do one more. We can do one more. It did count as a win. Okay, that's good. We'll do one more. We have 2 wins. I'm pretty happy with that. Even if we lose this last battle, we came out on top. And we will have gone an even 500. So I'm pretty happy with how we battled today. So this is Indeedee Armarouge. Oh, I've seen this team. I think I've seen this team in videos. So it is Trick Room with King Gambit. We got Shedtail Cyclizar. We got screens on Grimmsnarl. And we've got a huge power Azumarill. So this is very threatening. I'm kind of leaning towards Hydreigon and Mojito. Fairy Food and Mojito up at the front. So the Play Rough from the Azumarill is a little scary. I don't know if it actually has that or not. And the Spirit Break is a little scary, but I think we'll be okay with that. And again, we're kind of in that position where it's like I don't know what to bring in the back because the rest of the team is not really that good. I think Amoonguss here makes some sense. And then it has to be Armarouge. It just has to be Armarouge because we don't have anybody else to bring. So I think that's what it's going to be. Hydreigon and Meowscarada do put on a lot of offensive pressure, but unfortunately that's kind of all the offensive pressure I have. And they have quite a few mons that can counter the Hydreigon at the very least, if not both. So we'll see. We'll see what the play is here. Is Cyclizar and King Gambit. Okay, so the Cyclizar is likely going to Shed Tail. King Gambit, I don't know if it can do anything to really... Tailwind doesn't really feel that necessary here because their team is not fast. Cyclizar probably wants to get on out. I don't know what's going to come in, but it's going to come in and have to take a hit under a sub. So we got to be mindful of that. I think... I don't want to use a Draco Meteor. We'll go for a Dark Pulse on that. And then I think we just U-turn into the King Gambit. King Gambit protects. That's unfortunate. Alright. So that's not ideal. We're kind of a sitting duck here, but we're going to see a Shed Tail in all likelihood. Yep. So I don't know what's coming in, but it's going to have to take a Dark Pulse. So let's see what they actually send in. Is it Azumarill? I'm kind of thinking Azumarill. It's Armarouge. Alright. So this Dark Pulse should probably break the sub. I'm thinking we're going to break the sub there. Hopefully. Yeah. Alright, good. So now, I think the Trick Room is pretty obvious. I want to stay in Dark Pulse onto the Armarouge, and then I think I want to double into the Armarouge. If they predict that and go for a Protect, I'm kind of fucked. But I'm banking on a Trick Room here. Yeah, banking on a Trick Room here. So I want to switch out into Amoonguss because we can take advantage of that. We can get fast Spores if he goes for a Trick Room. And if not, if we're able to just take him out with this Dark Pulse, we are. Okay, so we deny Trick Room. So I'm good with that. We still have the Sash intact. And oh, he's setting up. I'm almost hoping that this King Gambit goes for a Terastallization. Because that setup is bad. And I have Clear Smog, but Clear Smog, he's immune to Clear Smog. So that's a bit of a problem. So the Cyclizar is going to come back in. Alright. Do I think he's going to Shed Tail again? I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's going to Shed Tail again. They could have Azumarill. I feel like it's going to be Azumarill in the back. So I don't want to try to hit the Cyclozar with either thing here. So I think we just want to get a Tailwind up. And then I want a Rage Powder. Rage Powder into Tailwind feels like a good idea. So we can get some speed control. I'm really kind of worried about... You are going to Dragon Claw. That's great. Get the Tailwind. I think we were outspeeding anyway, but this actually might make Amoonguss fast enough to potentially Spore. Oh, never mind. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's what Amoonguss was there for. That's what Amoonguss was there for. Give me the Armarouge. Armarouge comes in. We have a Tailwind up. We can go ahead. I still don't know if he's going to Shed Tail or not. So I think I want to protect with the Hydreigon. We still have the Sash intact, which he definitely doesn't know about and might not be expecting. So the question is, do I want to try to Armor Cannon, or do I also protect? Is he going to protect the King Gambit? He could Sucker Punch. That's a problem. I'm gonna protect. I'm gonna double protect, just to scout. I think he might Sucker Punch the Armarouge. Oh, he went for a protect. Oh. Oh, the mind games. The real fucking mind games here. Okay, so neither one of us can protect, but also the King Gambit can't protect. I still think he's gonna Sucker Punch. Part of me almost wants to go for Trick Room. That would be a bad idea. That would be such a bad idea. Alright, I don't think he's gonna switch out the Cyclozar. Do I believe that? I have to. I have to go for the damage. I have to try to go for damage here. Do I live a Sucker Punch? Not from a +2. I don't think I do. I have to go for it. I have to go for it. He's going to Sucker Punch. He's 100% going to Sucker Punch. Is that going to be Terra... No, he's Terra... This guy. Terra Normal. Okay, what do you get? Do you get, like, do you get Extreme Speed? I don't know if you do. That might just be a defensive Terra, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was just worried that he was going to switch into a Azumarill, or Shed Tail into a Azumarill, right? And then the Draco Meteor was going to be no effect. He didn't Sucker Punch. I think this is just going to take out the King Gambit. Yeah, okay. Shit. I guess maybe I'm just over-predicting, but I know King Gambit runs Sucker Punch. That would have been an ideal time to use it. Although, honestly, that Protect should have been the tip-off that he didn't have it. Oh, it's just Indeedee. Alright. Okay. And somehow Hydreigon is still sashed. Still. That's a tanky Indeedee. That is very tanky. That might be enough to get us out of rank 4. Would that not just be absolutely perfect? I'm so glad we finally had an undefeated episode. We had one in the first episode, and I haven't been able to come out ahead since. So it's been very nice to get 3 straight wins, especially with a team that I think I very clearly see the flaws of the team. But I think I played really well today. I don't know. And I played against some actual, like, opponents that had teams that were, like, competitive-looking teams, right? So I'm pretty happy with my performance. I'm very glad we had a final episode with this team that actually turned out to be an exciting episode for me playing, right? Like, clearly, the last episode was tough because we lost quite a bit. And we lost, like, not in fun ways, right? We lost, like, pretty handily. So, yeah, I think this team has potential, but it definitely needs some tweaks, right? Like, Hydreigon, Meowscarada, Armarouge, and Indeedee are really the only members of the team. Amoonguss actually isn't that bad. I felt that Amoonguss was holding the team back. It did its job today. Torkoal needs to be swapped for Sylveon. No question. No question. We need an answer to Dark types. But yeah, I think we pulled that out. pretty well in the final run there. Like I said in the last episode, the Phillies were down in going into June. We had a terrible record, and then we came back and went to the World Series. So you know what? This team is the fucking Phillies of 2022. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. And make sure you're subscribed for more Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium VGC ranked doubles battles. We are going to switch it up next time with a new team. It was going to be a lot less gimmicky and a lot more good stuffs. So we have that to look forward to. It's probably going to look fairly familiar to people who are familiar with the current meta. So it's very much a team of Mons that everybody's using. So I hope you're excited for that. I know I am. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.